Hello and welcome to Fat Pod. Here's Danny and I'm Stephen, and today we are joined by P, and we're going to be talking about the Far From Home trailer. So guys, as we're recording this, the Far From Home trailer has been dropped and we've all watched it. If you haven't watched it, make sure you go check that out before watching this video, because we are going to be talking about it. And we might talk about some other films like Infinity War, Ant-Man, Black Panther, whatever. So just make sure you go check them out before watching this video.
Space Jam.
Basically what Stephen is saying, if you've not been caught up with the MCU over the past 10 years, spoiler warning. Now that's out of the way. What are we thinking, lads? Like, Spider-Man Far From Home. And he is far from home. He's went everywhere. He's been
Really far from home.
Yeah.
Looks like he was in Italy. Was he?
I think he was.
Well, they're doing
Rome.
Europe, aren't they?
Yeah.
So
He's London as well.
yeah.
It's just Far From Home.
So anyway, as the trailer goes and all the rumours and hints and that's what we're going to be talking about in this episode. So straight off the bat, one thing we noticed after watching it the second time, because you watched it first time for fun, second time for details. Spider-Man in outfit,
Yeah,
is with Aunt May,
He is without May.
and we sort of sussed out that they are the grand opening of Feast, I believe, because there's big banners that say homeless shelter.
Yeah, if not Feast, something very, very similar, but if they don't call it Feast, they're missing a trick.
Yeah, especially with the hottest game of the last year just being out.
Mm-hmm.
Very much dedicated to that storyline. Happy Hogan seems to be filling in the role of Tony Stark in Pervin on Aunt May.
Yeah.
And he comes in with a check for, I can't remember if it was $5 million or $500,000 or whatever it was, but a lot of money. A lot of money to dedicate to the Feast shelter. Aunt May's very cool with knowing that Peter's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But we have theories. We're going to talk about these theories while we're here. Stephen's theory is...
he is posing as Spider-Man. I reckon that he's saying to Aunt May when she sees him, says, "I'm just an impersonator. I'm not actually Spider-Man. I do it for like parties and events and stuff like that."
He's a glorified cosplayer.
Yeah.
I'm just cosplaying Aunt May. Thwip shit. But yeah, so Stephen has a theory that Aunt May doesn't really know because she thinks Peter's just like dressing up as Spider-Man. P?
It's not so much a theory as much as it is tinfoil hat, but we were talking about how for the Infinity War trailer, there was loads of scenes of the Hulk, and then in the film, he wasn't present. It was a part of the story that Bruce couldn't transform, so he was in the Hulkbuster armor, and they're into this realm now of showing us what they want to show us, and not necessarily showing us what's in the film. You mentioned that Happy in his kind of flirting with Aunt May was very Tony Stark, the way that he was in Homecoming and Civil War. And I thought, well, maybe that is Tony Stark. Maybe they shot the scenes twice, one with Jon Favreau to throw us off for the trailer, but then when we're watching the film, maybe it's just going to be Robert Downey Jr. They're not going to show us that at this point because Endgame hasn't come out. So for now, Tony Stark's fate is up in the air, up in space, in fact.
Yeah.
So that was my kind of, maybe they're going to do that.
That must cost them a lot more money though to be like, right, this is the proper film, now we need to shoot all the fake scenes.
They have all of the money in the world.
They do have all the money.
This is Disney.
They have Mickey Mouse behind them.
Yeah.
And but yeah, excuse me. I said to the boys as well when we were talking beforehand that most versions of Aunt May, whenever she has found out about Peter and his double life, she's pretty pissed off and doesn't want him to be Spider-Man. She's not proud. She's proud of him, but she doesn't want him risking his life. She doesn't see any upside. And when you watch Homecoming,
she's already lost a loved one to
violence,
foolish bravery and violence.
Yeah, you're spot on. She lost Tobey Maguire. Yeah, and even if you've watched Homecoming, there's a scene where they're sat in the restaurant having dinner or whatever, and the TV has the news on, and it was the fight that Spider-Man had with the Vulture's men robbing the ATM machines or whatever, and she said, like, you see someone like that, you run, and he's like, yep, yeah, I'll never go near anything like that. I'm too scared or whatever, and yeah, I just think Aunt May being very cool with him. And then coming backstage and hugging him and saying, "Oh, that was great. I'm so proud of you." Yeah, she is proud of him, but he's not.
Yeah.
It's not right. It's not right. She should be like, "You're never wearing that suit again." But
Get to your bedroom.
yeah, and no, Ned can't come around and build Lego.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously moving on, because obviously apparently this is a teaser trailer as well. A
Yeah.
2.5 minute teaser trailer
Yeah.
now. Do you remember when they were like 30 seconds?
Yeah.
Like, the Dark Knight teaser trailer was literally the logo coming up to the screen and a couple of voiceovers from Heath Ledger and Christian Bale. And, of course, Michael Caine.
Amateurs!
The size of a
Oh,
tangerine. But anyway, the best line of that film. And, yeah, that was a teaser trailer, but now we get full-on footage these days.
2 minutes 57 seconds. Or
Yeah,
something.
it's like the running joke between these two idiots now is that the actual trailer will be 90 minutes long, and then we'll get to sit and enjoy a 10-hour film at the cinema because Marvel just don't care about time limits anymore.
They don't care about my old man knees.
No, sitting in the cinema like,
Jeez.
I'm enjoying it, but
Do you remember
it's
intermissions?
Oh, no.
Bring that back.
I have heard about these intermissions during films. Yeah, so anyway, moving on then. He wants to go on holiday with his friends. He wants to be a normal teenager. Really 180 from the first film where he was like, all he wanted to do was be in that suit
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I want to be an Avenger. I want to prove myself to Mr. Stark. Mr. Stark, Mr. Stark.
And I was going to be doing it to Nick Fury, Nick Fury, Nick Fury.
No, it's going to be MJ. You're not really MJ. You look nothing like MJ. And that's
Michelle.
Yeah, Michelle, my belle. But yeah, so he wants to go on holiday like any teenager does with his friends, travel the world a bit and get a bit of experience. I'm trying to remember the film as it was happening. What else did we see? Him and Ned and Peter come into the room where they're staying. Some sort of like, I guess it's like.
Like,
I don't know what the word.
hostel.
Yeah, that's the word. And Ned gets shot in the neck with a dart, and it's the big reveal of Nick Fury because he just likes to creep into people's houses and sit in their favourite chairs, a la Ben Affleck in Justice League, and basically says, "Peter Parker, I've been watching you or whatever," and you know.
That's what I say to people when I've broken into their bedrooms and I've sat in the dark
I've been watching you.
watching you. Been waiting to meet you.
Like Willem Dafoe hiding under your bed. You asleep yet? But yeah, so he's hiring Peter to do some work for S.H.I.E.L.D., I guess. P's theory is, with the whole Nick Fury...
So I feel like Nick Fury is recruiting Spider-Man because he's still, presumably, he's quite young, he's quite inexperienced. I could be remembering this wrong, but in Infinity War, Tony didn't want him to go, right? He snuck on board by accident or
Yeah,
however it
he
happened.
climbed onto the big wheel that was
Yeah.
going up. Tony sent the suit off to get him, the Iron Spider suit, and said, "See you later, kid," and the parachute took Peter away, but then Peter
Yeah.
clung onto the wheel and
So with all of that,
stowaway, he called him.
with all of that, they were still like babying him, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think at this point in time, probably from the outcome, whatever that will be, of Endgame, Nick Fury's like desperate for superheroes. So he could have approached Peter Parker like long before now. But he was in hiding, as you said, from
Hydra and
was it
stuff.
Civil War? Or
Yeah, it was the Winter Soldier
Winter Soldier?
attacked him and stuff, and then
Yeah.
it was the whole collapse of S.H.I.E.L.D. because Hydra had infiltrated it for years and stuff. So yeah, Nick Fury basically killed himself off and just went into hiding.
So, and this is just like off the top of my head, feel free to say shut up, you're talking bullshit.
But,
But- He's trying to put together, for lack of a better term, Avengers 2.0,
Yeah.
but there's no superheroes around.
Young Avengers.
So he's getting Spider-Man. He's getting, and I'm going to jump ahead for a couple of minutes of this trailer, Mysterio. He's trying to get a team of defenders together. When but not the Defenders.
No, they already have their own show.
Netflix have them.
That's going to be canned within the next couple of months, no doubt. Your theory on Nick Fury being back?
Yeah, I agree with P.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's just using him to.
Well, not using him. He just needs.
Well,
he needs a
needs
team.
someone, but everyone else is either just
Dead or retired.
post-traumatic stress disorder.
And it's revealed that the big bad of the film is the Elementals. And as you can see by lots of footage in the trailer, they're destroying things. You know, they're flooding things, they're electrocuting things, whatever they're doing. And we'll jump again, like we said, ahead a bit there. Mysterio makes a big dramatic superhero entrance with his green smoke.
Superhero landing.
I'm just gutted he didn't say "behold" like he does in Spectacular. In Spectacular, every time he shows up, he's like "behold," and Jake Gyllenhaal says, "What does he say? You want no part of this, kid, or whatever."
Yeah.
Because like the water's too much for Spider-Man to have.
He'll get all wet.
He's gonna get all wet.
He'll wash the
In
spider out.
sequence, he's
Yeah.
fine.
Oh,
Great minds think alike.
I haven't thought of nothing yet. Yeah, so we see Mysterio with Dome as well.
With Dome.
With Dome. A whole lot ahead on that Mysterio.
I'm going to talk about that for a second because Mysterio is cool as and we can get a Dome. If he'd have been in a Spider-Man film 5 years ago, 6 years ago, we wouldn't have got a Dome.
There would have been.
They would have been too good. Imagine Mysterio in an Andrew Garfield film. He wouldn't have had a Dome.
No.
They'd have probably made a joke about a Dome at some point.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't have been funny.
He would have looked like a different Batman villain, just like Electro looked like Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
He had the Riddler's Batman Forever origin with Mr. Freeze's look.
I honestly think, I don't even think Sam Raimi would have done a Dome. Maybe.
No,
But
Bruce Campbell likes to be seen.
Yeah, so I think this is the first point in cinematic history since the 70s. If they did it in the 70s, he would have had a dome.
Yeah.
And it would have been a fishbowl. Or an astronaut helmet.
They would have put a green hoodie on him and stuck a dome on his head.
Yeah. Goggles and a green,
Yeah.
But he's got a dome, and I genuinely think it's the first time.
You're really happy about the dome.
I really am happy about the dome.
Yeah.
So we've gone through all the films having to be gritty and realistic, and now they're like, let's do it, let's give him a dome. All right.
Well, we're now in a universe where they're not afraid of colour.
Yeah.
They're not afraid of
nuts.
suits.
Yeah.
Like, they're putting Mysterio in his green and gold with this burgundy, purpley cape and the dome. And he's even got the big square gold gauntlets he has and everything. Is all his 2 eyes. He's got the 2 eyes. He looks awesome. He looks like a supervillain.
Yeah.
And again, this is where we're going to now.
He's a hero.
He's a hero.
He's fighting the elementals.
But is he a hero though? Because the Mysterio origin is that he always he
tried to be.
He always tries to be a hero and buries Spider-Man. So he looks like the only difference between this and another version is J. Jonah Jameson's not paying him to do it.
Yeah.
You know,
we know of.
Yeah, well, yeah. Imagine if JJ shows up, and if it's JK, what's his name? I'm in. I'm all in. But Mysterio always, tries to get the press on his side. He wants to be this big
con man.
He is exactly a con man. He wants to be this big celebrated hero. Forget about Spider-Man. I'm your guy. And even so much that in the originals, he would always dress up as Spider-Man and commit crimes and stuff. He'd replicate Spider-Man's powers with special effects and practical effects.
So if he's jealous of heroes and if he's jealous of Spider-Man, do you reckon that the first scene in the trailer is going to play into that? Like, he's seen the footage of Spider-Man at this big charity event and be like, I want to be at a fucking charity event. That can be me. He doesn't have to do superhero shit.
Yeah.
He's a presenter. I can do that. I just need to save the world once or twice.
And the theatre that they're in at the
easy
start,
life.
the theatre that you see is a shut down show that he was in, but the show was shut down. They're visiting an old theatre
Oh, so it could.
So it could be a revenge thing, like
Yeah,
Yeah,
it could
yeah.
be. It could
I
be
want
like
to be.
I'm a
famous.
star of a show, but get nothing.
Yeah,
He opens up a bloody charity place,
and gets everything.
and he gets everything. Do you know what I mean? Whereas he doesn't really know that Peter Parker's a poor.
So if he,
And Nick's DVD players.
if originally you said that he impersonates Spider-Man and kind of makes him do bad thing, we see a lot of suits in this trailer. We obviously see the new red and black, and we see the stealth suit / noir suit. Could that be an impersonation of him?
It could be in a comic book and a cartoon, but the fact that Jake Gyllenhaal has probably got a foot and a half on Tom Holland and probably about £100 mass.
Yeah, but doesn't he? He's an illusionist.
Okay, I see your point.
So
there.
all they have to do is just dump Tom Holland in the thing again, but have him do something
Yeah, I mean,
naughty.
I
Naughty.
No, Cat, you're staying in that tree.
Yeah.
So my thinking on that is, it wouldn't work if Mysterio probably isn't counting on being stood next to Spider-Man at any point. You know what I mean? If he shows up at some point in a Spider-Man costume to do something,
Yeah.
people aren't going to say, like the people in the crowd are going to be like, it's Spider-Man, not, he looks a bit tall. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would work as a misdirection from the point of view of, like, if he assumes that no one in the place that he's going to show up at has ever seen Spider-Man, which if it's in, like, London or whatever, he's probably got no reason to assume that Spider-Man's actually going to be there.
Yeah.
And even if he does, he tries to tell him to stay out of it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Because by the way they've done it in the film, it looks like he's talking to Peter, not Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But we all know that's not going to be the case because edits and cuts and stuff.
Yeah.
We'll go to more Mysterio a bit later on, but let's go back a little bit forward in the trailer. One thing I've noticed as well that Peter goes to a post office to get his passport, and the date on his passport of Peter's birthday is August 10th. No, anyone? That was the date Amazing Fantasy 15 was released.
Ooh.
So that is actually Spider-Man's birthday.
What year?
It doesn't actually have a year on his passport because it would age him, and they can't do that because they need him to be whatever age they need him to be. Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's the whole problem with Avengers 1 and Spider-Man Homecoming. The whole 8 years later, and then we're all like, hang on, it's not 2020.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
because I went with you, didn't I, to see that, and I literally said, that doesn't make sense. Like, I don't
In
get
the
it.
cinema you went.
Yeah, it bugged, and it was straight away at the start as well. And I was like,
Yeah, that was
I was
it.
just like blowing my mind. I was
You
like,
sat with me and you went, wait, what? And then at the end I was like, what did you say that for? You were just like, it's been 8 years.
Yeah. if they're going by proper time, and they were, because even in Infinity War, Tony says about Thanos, he's been in my head for 6 years. You know, 2012, 18, 6 years. So then for them to turn around and be like, so 8 years later, and not only that, not only that, but the Avengers, the war on New York or whatever, the invasion of New York, happened in 2012. We're then seeing it through the Vulture, Michael Keaton. They're doing cleanup. Now that's got to be at least a couple of months later, or a month and a half, or whatever, you know, to get the contracts and stuff. You know, New York's a big place, and they wrecked a lot of it. That's going to take a lot of job. Yeah. So that could be a year later. They're still picking that shit up, right? And then they're like, oh yeah, by the way, 8 years later, and then we're at current day with Peter Parker, and it's like 2021. Like, what year are we on? Like, Peter's the one who's jumping through the future, mate. I'm telling you.
he's the time traveler.
Yeah, he's the time traveller. But anyway, regardless, yeah, they don't age him because they don't give him a date of
Because
birth.
they need him to be a teenager.
They need him
for as long as they
even
need
though
him to
Tom
be a
Holland's
teenager.
probably, what, 22, 23 now, or whatever he is. Yeah, they need him to be young. Not like 40-year-old Andrew Garfield still playing 16-year-old Peter Parker. But, yeah. So anyway, I just thought that was a really cool bit of the thing, the fact that he had that birthday on him.
Wasn't there another nod on like the boat or something at the start when they're taking?
Yeah, obviously they're showing a load of things of Peter and his friends travelling the world, enjoying experiences and stuff, taking selfies. and behind Ned on a boat. What's it? Taking selfies is an experience.
It was that you were like taking selfies. Like, damn
Disgusted.
kids on my lawn.
I've never took a selfie. The closest I came to taking a
Take one
selfie.
out.
Nah, man, it's weird. I don't
Go
power.
on, do it.
No, because
Come on.
no. Anyway, yes. So Peter and his friends travel, and there is a little clip of them on a boat. I don't know where it is at. We're actually looking at it while we're doing it because we're cool.
Yeah, we're not just looking at damaged junk.
You know, looking. Yeah, they're on a boat. I don't know where that is. Where do you?
Looks like Venice or something.
Yeah, they're on a boat in Venice, and the ever annoying Ned is.
I like him.
That's Betty Brant as well, isn't it?
Could be.
Yeah, the girl, because she was the news reporter in the Homecoming.
Yeah.
So Ned's dating Betty Brant by the look of it, or at least hanging out and stuff. And behind Ned is a boat that says ASM 212, which is
an issue of Amazing Spider-Man, the 212th issue of Amazing
Hydra Man's first appearance.
Hydra Man's first appearance. So, and obviously later on,
Because there was another Easter egg that I saw.
oh,
on
P's
the
found
internet.
Easter. We're doing this live for you.
I
man.
didn't see this. I saw
And
it on
any
like,
little
Twitter.
Easter eggs we got, you know, we're trying to focus in on them and just make up our own bullshit. Because all in all, when this is all said and done, all the film is going to be is Peter's won. Spoiler alert. Do you know what I mean?
What?
Yeah, Peter's going to win. The only way he won't is if he dies and they bring Miles in, which seems to be the trend these days.
And he'll turn to dust.
Yeah.
Can we just make this clear? This is after Endgame, isn't it? Because I've seen things where people are saying
Yeah,
it's before Infinity War and it's after. But in my head, it's like, it's definitely after.
Well,
Because why would they have that
This
film?
was a really subtle
And then
one that I
have-
saw on Twitter. See if you can spot anything. You might not be able to because it's a bit small on the old phone screen, but
I think it's that sign there, but I can't see it. Is it the sign?
the sign,
Yeah.
it is the sign above
What's-
the door.
What's the sign say?
It's called the Hotel de Matius.
Is it what I'm thinking it is?
J.M. de Matius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who is?
Explain.
Explain.
he's a comics writer.
Yeah, right.
He's written many
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man
Yeah.
stories.
You can have a dry moment, like, that's what I think it is.
Mm.
Is it what I think it is?
Well, no, at first, when he said
Suspense.
Dematius, it took me a second. I thought it was a hint to the rent. I thought it was a hint to him. And then I remembered it was he was Ditkovic.
Yeah.
But-
Fix my door and you'll get your rent.
Have you seen? There's a really funny thing online where you know, he says, "You get your rent when you fix this damn door." Somebody puts a beep over "damn," and it's so funny because it's like you just imagining this fucking door. Like, it was so funny. Like, oh man, we need to find that after and watch it. Let's just watch. Let's Google box this shit. You watch us watching things, but that's all reactions are. But yeah. So yes, Mr. Dematius or whatever gets a thing. Yeah. So it was just said about Ned getting shot in the neck. Thank fuck. Most annoying character in the Spider-Man franchise. And he's not even Peter's friend. Is he? Whose friend is he?
Not after getting shot in the neck, it's not.
Not after breaking his Lego Death Star. Who is Peter's friend?
His friend.
No. I'm sorry. Who is
Like,
Ned?
Peter Parker ain't got any friends.
Who is Ned? He's
Ned.
Miles' friend,
Ned, well,
but not really.
Ganka, or however it's pronounced, I think it's a Korean name, is Miles' friend. And
that's-
it's just this character,
it's
but
just Ned.
with an easier to pronounce name because Ned Leeds is.
Did you notice as well in Homecoming, none of Peter's actual friends, even Flash, none of them got a surname. Because they didn't actually want to give these characters these names. The whole Michelle secret of her being MJ, she was never called Miss Watson at any point. The teacher never went, Miss Watson, shut your mouth. You know what I mean? Ned is Ned Leeds. Well, that's the name in the comics. Ned Leeds eventually becomes the Hobgoblin. You know? Liz was never called Liz Toombs. That way it would have been the biggest spoiler of the film when we found out that, hang on, the Vulture's daughter is Liz. Because in the comics, she's Liz Allen. They just really didn't... The only one who got one was Betty Brown.
I'm surprised Peter got one.
Yeah. Jesus.
His name's Peter in Spider-Man.
Peter Parkour, but... Pecker.
Pecker.
The best part of Spider-Man 3. Well, no, it's not. There's loads of stuff I like from that film. But yeah, it's just one of them things where it's like, yeah, Ned needs to be shot more than once in the neck. So,
What are we thinking about the new suit?
right, I'm not going to lie to you. I hate it. And I'll tell you why I hate it. I'll tell you for what reasons. We did a video not so long ago, the three of us, with the Spider-Man game. P made a very good point about Spider-Man suits that are adapted, that work, and that are adapted and don't. P is very much on board with the Insomniac Big White Spider. That suit's grown on him. He's explained his reasons for it on many videos we've done. And he tells us why it works. And then he goes to Amazing Spider-Man, the Andrew Garfield suit, and tells us why it doesn't work. I think this one falls into the line of one that doesn't work, in my opinion. I think when I look at this new suit that he has, we're talking about the red and black one, not the noir stealth looky suit. To me, it's piss or get off the pot. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
Make it what you want it to be, or don't. Don't try and half and half. It's not a pizza, you know. We don't want half pepperoni and half pineapple.
Yeah.
You know, some people might, but I'm not them.
To me.
I
haven't eaten for a few hours.
I've just had a plain cheese, you know me. But I like my characters to be traditional. I don't mind changes in suits. Fucking hell, I grew up with the Batmans, for God's sake. But for them to all of a sudden put like these weird black fingerless gauntlets on, it's sort of reminiscent of... I mean, that's Miles' bottom half.
Yeah.
Of his wrist and the hand. That's Miles's.
Yeah.
But then it's a very Miles inspired costume, yeah.
But it's also very much superior in Doc Ock Spider-Man suit.
Do you know my thinking on this? Not on this suit in particular, but in general. Like, the biggest difference between now and when we grew up is that nowadays the stories are good.
Yeah.
And that tricks us into thinking that this exists for any other reason than to sell toys. And not so much toys as bad as it was in the 90s, but lunchboxes and pyjamas and...
Yeah.
You know?
But not only that, though.
We've seen one trailer that's 3 minutes long. It's 3 different costumes in it.
3, yeah.
And that's what they've shown to us so far.
Yeah, his normal one, his stealth suit, and this now Far From Home suit.
Yeah.
Again, it's like you said about the toys and all that. Back in the 90s, they were notorious for changing it just for the sake of to sell a toy. Again, I'll go with Batman needs to look different in this one because we need to sell another toy.
Yeah.
You know, who's playing Batman this time? George Clooney. Right, we need to make another toy. Yeah. This Spider-Man, not only in this day and age, will have a basic line that you can get at Smith's or anything like that, but it's also going to get high-end merchandise. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to get you Marvel Legend figure, a hot toy. Someone out there, there's going to be many of them as well, are going to pay the best part of £300 to have this suit as a part of their collection in a hot toy. Yeah. Not only that, but you know they're going to do the stealth one because it's money. Yeah. That's what you said. They probably won't do the blue one again because it is exactly the same, you know. But you look at the hot toy.
Though, a Mysterio hot toy would be.
I was just thinking, I'm not a hot toy person, but a Mysterio.
A Mysterio one would be worth the money.
There's a switch that turns the helmet and makes it glow.
Yeah,
no, give him 2. Give him 2 style helmets, and then 1 Jake Gyllenhaal head. So you can have him if you want him. Well, I don't know why you ever would.
Yeah, but you'll have it where the ball bit can
Yeah, that's why you give him 2. Yeah, that's why you give him 2 domes, like they used to do with the old Dark Knight ones.
Oh
he had even my armoured one that I had. He has 1 set that can light up, click, or you can put the other head on and it's just normal. So
and then that way you can display it with the dome head and just have the little Jake Gyllenhaal bit on like your bedside table.
And that's it.
To look at before you go to sleep.
Well, that's it. That's what we all want to say goodnight to Jake Gyllenhaal.
Or you can get like a Prince of Persia figure and then put the Jake Gyllenhaal head on it, so he's got like a massive head because it wouldn't be
Stick it on your Assassin's Creed figure.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Job's a good one. But yeah, so they are going to make tons. I doubt they'll make Mysterio though, because they didn't do Vulture, which is a shame. But it'd be
I'm
amazing.
pretty sure they did do Vulture.
They didn't do Vulture in a hot toy.
They advertised it.
I think they pulled it.
Did they put it
I
out?
think so. I remember because you remember the deluxe one had the Vulture helmet,
Mm.
and I think they pulled the actual thing and was like, nope.
Tell you the interesting thing, and I'm going to go back on what I said earlier about the dome. I'm so glad we've got the dome.
Mm.
But you know why we've got the dome, don't you?
What was that?
Because it's the
CG.
same. No, because they can sell Mysterio toys without having to license Jake Gyllenhaal's face for an action figure, because that costs more money. That's why Star-Lord had his mask.
Yeah.
That's why Vulture had a mask.
Yeah.
They're clever.
They're clever.
I think probably about the only people they have to license a face for is probably
Captain
Captain America and Thor.
Yeah.
You know?
Not only that though, but I find a lot of times, especially in these newer films, they try and do it as close to the comic books as well. But it's a lot easier to do Mysterio with a dome on his head, doing all the special effects, than it is trying to recreate someone's face.
Yeah.
Or top lip if you're Superman.
Yeah.
You know, you saw how difficult they had with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Them close-up shots were bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, so obviously that makes sense. Also, moving on from the trailer, we see quite a few action sequences, more of Spider-Man spreading his web wings and, as you said,
A
flying
lot
like a
of that in
squirrel.
this trailer.
What was he doing? Flying like a squirrel?
Like flying squirrel, yeah.
Flying squirrel.
Yeah, was it, you know,
Yeah, I've
right,
seen
yeah.
one. I've seen one where they open up and they're like.
Yeah.
But also, there's an explosion and Spidey's jumping out of it looks like an English sort of building,
Yeah.
and it
Is that a flag on it? Or am I just picturing it?
No, it's a web.
I'm just seeing shit.
It looks to me like. Do you remember when he did the flip out of the building with the baby in the first one with Toby? It looks like that.
It looks like the bank from Spider-Man 2.
Yeah. I mean, going back to the suit as well, while Stephen was on that point, he's got this horrible white outline of his normal spider logo.
Oh
he has.
yeah.
I don't get it. It looks ugly.
But the thing is, for me though, when we saw the shots of him on set in the suit, I was like, that's horrible. But then when you see it in action, you don't. Well, I know we're seeing it from a snippet in the trailer, but you don't think about it.
No.
Like, to me, I didn't think about it. I didn't even
I think
click
because
that he was in different suits.
because
until,
this looks exactly the same.
yeah, I
It's-
think that's what it's.
This is your money shot. It's always been your money shot.
Yeah.
And I think everything else is just forgotten about. But and then throughout the trailer we start seeing some of the disasters and that's going on, a lightning storm and Spider-Man, fluttering through it in his little web wings again. Some more water damage, some fire and stuff, and then a couple of gangsters walking into what looks to be like an old sort of nightclub.
Can I just interject for a second?
Yeah.
There was I felt a lot of scenes in this trailer of Spider-Man gliding with his big web wings, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't he swing on webs?
Yeah.
Because they're all shots of him like coming down and arcing, like floating down. Like he could just swing on webs. To do that, I feel like that's Spider-Man.
I feel
but
like-
know,
Yeah, I feel like you get upset when things change a little bit. Worse than
I
I
really
do.
do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the only if that's how they're doing it instead of him swinging on webs, then I'm assuming that it's just there. We need him to swing, but there's nothing to stick a web onto. Like when he's like going to the bridge or whatever, he'll find a high building and glide to it because he wouldn't have anything to.
Yeah.
Well, but he swings on webs.
Does whatever a spider can, and
He
apparently
does.
spiders can flutter.
Swing on webs. They don't do that either, to the best of my knowledge.
And yeah, so we actually see a little shot as well of one of the elementals in his fire form starting to take on a human sort of shape.
Mm.
So are they actually going to do the humanoids? But we all know what the theory is, don't we?
It's the Human Torch.
And that's it.
Chris Evans is going to play.
Yeah, Chris Evans is back. He's doing two. Yeah, he's given up Captain America because
That's
he wants to
right.
go back to Fan 4.
Yes.
Infinity War Endgame.
Finally.
Yeah.
Endgame is
Let's get-
going to be Ant-Man going like messing up the timeline,
Let's
going
get
back to
Jennifer
Fantastic
Alvarado
Four.
to it.
And then this time he's going to spray whipped cream in Hulk's hand and tickle him. And he does the Hulk. and runs off. But
If you want me to get up and leave, I will. I quite like those films. The two Fantastic Four films. Or,
it's better than the
I'll
new
say,
version.
I'll say
That's what
I did like them last time I saw them.
Okay.
It's been a long time. I'm sure if I watch them tomorrow, I'd be like, yeah, actually, that's an embarrassing thing to say. But they're not to be taken seriously. They're just like dumb superhero films. And I was never like a Fantastic Four fan, so I don't really care if they the established
Order.
whatever. Yeah.
But again, the whole idea of it that we've all sort of sussed out in our heads, and most Spider-Man fans would have sussed out as well, is that we believe Mysterio has created these illusions and special effects, these elementals, and again to make himself look like the big hero.
He's using them as a way
He's created something that only he can stop. So he looks like the big saviour of Europe and whatever, and
the world.
Yeah.
and Spider-Man can't.
He's going to team up with
No one
Spider-Man at one point,
No.
and then it's all going to turn.
It's all going to turn, and we're seeing him run off the building. This shot here of him in the stealth suit, or the shield suit, whatever you want to call it. I actually seen a behind the scene clip of him on a Ferris wheel, watching Ned and Betty Brown at some point on their holiday.
No way.
What?
No way.
No way. Shut up. And then we get what people are saying, Hydro Man.
Maury Bench.
Yeah. Did you say Hydrant Man? The dogs must love you. Peter soggy wet on top of a roof. He's clearly been blasted by the water, and it happens again, and he gets full on soaked. And this is where Mysterio pops down and does what we just talked about 10, 15 minutes ago, where he's like, "Stay out of the way, kid. This is my beef."
Looking super Asgardian.
He does.
And then it looks like he's flying on some sort of hoverboard.
He is. Again, because he's a special effects man who can't actually fly. He's not a superhero. He's a con man. He's an illusionist. But seeing him in that dome, though,
Yeah.
it's just, that's the money right there.
Yeah.
That is Mysterio. He's got
That's-
some
yeah.
green smoke, a big purple cape.
The eyes on the...
Yeah, it's just
Cape
everything
little
you
bits.
want. It's just everything you want.
I'm into it.
You know, we live in a world now where, you know, Doctor Strange's cape can tap him and smack him around.
Yeah.
Why can't we have a dome?
Imagine this, right? He's fighting Spider-Man, and his chest armor comes off, because that's like plate, it looks
Yeah.
flexible and stuff. That all comes off, and it's just like green jumpsuit underneath.
And he's full on Mysterio.
It's full blown.
Yeah, because that's
Full
the only
on.
thing that's out of place is that weird gold
Yeah.
sort of plating on his,
It
on
looks
his throat.
it looks good.
Yeah, it looks
cool,
fine. It's not going to take me out of it too
but
much.
not at all. But take it off, and
Yeah.
you've just got Mysterio.
You've got the perfect Mysterio. I mean, yeah, I'm in to watch this film. I said to Stephen earlier, when we exchanged the whole, have you seen the trailer? Have you seen the trailer? And I said to him, I said it looks better than Homecoming. I think again because Homecoming was a kind of
I think the trailer
Origin.
sold it better than the trailer for Homecoming sold
Yeah.
Homecoming.
because in this one, obviously, they're sticking to their similar sort of thing where Spider-Man's constantly having to go back to some Mr. Stark, Mr. Stark, Mr. Fury, Mr. Fury. Doctor says, Doctor says.
I'm looking forward to the third one where he goes to Australia and it's called Spider-Man Home and Away.
Oh, that's it. He's finished the trilogy. G'day, Spider. And it's Craven.
Oh, Malaya!
No, he's Australian now though, because he's down under. He chases snakes and
I
stuff.
don't know if I could say it in Australian
Was
accent.
Come
he-
here,
was he
Mariah.
Australian?
Mariah.
No, he's Mariah.
No.
Mariah. Sounds like someone on it.
Ellie.
Alligator. Yeah.
Spider-Man Home and Away. That's what I'm looking forward
He
to.
was he Australian in Ultimate? I feel like
He was Australian. Yeah. He was very much based on the late Steve Irwin, weren't he?
If they do this right,
Yeah.
this video, I'm gonna sue them.
Yes. You hear that, Marvel? We're coming for you, and your Mickey
You
Mouse.
heard-
money.
you heard it
I'm
here
gonna
first.
sue
Yeah.
you, Disney.
Yeah, we're going to sue
Wish
you
me
for
luck.
taking P's idea. We
can't
say
lie.
right here, right now, if you do Spider-Man 3 Home and Away,
When you say it like that, it just sounds ridiculous.
It sounds amazing.
It does sound amazing.
And it could be worse. It could be called Spider-Man Neighbours. And
Well,
you do
'cause
the
I've done Far
Australian
From Home.
Craven. You owe us money, even though it's your creation.
Yeah, who's us?
Yeah.
This idea was my creation.
Obi-Wan.
No, they're gonna have to fit home in there, right?
Yeah.
That
seems
was
to be
the
their
backbone
thing.
of my joke. Was
Yes.
it's gonna have to have the word home in there so people know that it's part of the same trilogy.
Let's just hope that Tom Holland can carry this film.
Yes, because he was good in Civil War. He was good in Avengers, but I don't think he carried Homecoming at all, did he? Me and you have both spoke about that quite a lot, about how in his own film he's not as good. Whereas Andrew Garfield was very charismatic and enjoyable to watch because he did weird little things and that, and even when he was talking to Gwen, he was always sort of. I mean, them two in the school, they were too cute together, weren't they? You know, the dirty little looks they were giving each other, like, no, I wasn't touching it. It's my uncle. Do you know what I mean? He was proper cool. But yeah, Tom Holland couldn't carry it. I was just literally sat there waiting for Michael Keaton. But yeah, as far as the end shot of the trailer, they have the funny little moment where
I enjoyed that.
they're all sat around the telly watching the footage of Mysterio, and they're like, and Flash again. The one thing they always get right with Flash, except for in the Raimi films because you never see him, he's so loyal to Spider-Man. He always is. He just loves Spider-Man, ironically, because he hates Peter, which is the best part of that joke and relationship. Because even they summed it up in that one scene where he's like, "Oh, Spider-Man's cool, you know, his costume's cool.
I respect him.
I respect him." And then he looks over, sees Parker, and he's like, "Dickhead." And Peter's just like,
So what's that dickwad?
he called him Dickwad.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to this Spider-Man film. But the problem is we have to go through 2 other films to get to this film. One of them being Captain Marvel, which
Miss Marvel.
is called Captain.
Is it?
Yeah. She's not.
DC World.
Yep, she's not Miss Marvel anymore. She's a captain.
Curry
Which is
DC World.
also ironic because Captain Marvel from DC side is coming out this year, but
Shazam.
he's now Shazam again.
Shazam.
It just reminds me of that Bo Selector. Shazam. But yeah, and also we've got Avengers before that. So Avengers is, going to be telling us where we are in the world. As soon as Avengers is done, we're going to sort of know where we're sitting with this Spider-Man film. Because at the minute, everything's up in the air. Is this set before Avengers, before the snap? Is it set after? What is going on?
So what do you guys think of the trailer? Are you looking forward to the film? Let us know in the comment section below. And don't forget, guys, to go check out our other videos if you want to see more great content. And don't forget, if you want to be notified of every time we upload, make sure you go ahead and hit that little bell button so every time we upload, you'll get a notification. And don't forget, guys, to please like, comment and subscribe. And we'll catch you in the next one. See you later.
Do your best Spider-Man noise.
Shazam.